Hey everybody, what's going on? I just got inspired to make a video because I started watching this show. I was gonna watch the rest of Dawson's Creek, but Prime decided, oh, it's not free anymore. Let's get you watching it for months and then say, oh, it's not free anymore. So I found this other show on Netflix called Addicted, and it's about, people that are addicted to whatever it is, alcohol, drugs, whatever. It's kind of like the show Intervention, but it's Netflix's version, and it's a little more intense though. It's a little more intense. I only watched one episode, but the episode I watched was actually pretty strong. Sorry, it hurts my arm up there. It was pretty strong. I mean, yes, this lady was addicted to a lot of different things. I mean, whatever she could get her hands on, alcohol, drugs, all kinds of stuff. Whatever was available, she would take. But they said some pretty strong stuff in there. She was in recovery, and she said, so this is going to be kind of a long video, kind of emotional. I'm putting out a warning. It's gonna be pretty strong because what she said kind of resonated with me. I'm gonna put you guys down here because I can't hold that anymore. It's making my arm crazy tired. Yeah, what she said was kind of crazy. It was kind of a big deal. She said she was in recovery, and she said, I don't want to be new anymore. I've done this so many times, and I can't do it anymore. And she's like, I gotta finish this. And she's like, the heroin has been my friend. Addiction has been my friend. No matter what I've been going through, heroin has helped me. It has helped me forget. It has helped me. It has comforted me. It has made me strong. Maybe not in the healthiest of ways, but it made me feel stronger than I was feeling. It's always been there for me. If people walk in and out of my life, the one thing I have is alcohol or heroin, and it makes me forget. And she's like, and until I deal with letting go of that friend that I've had my whole addiction life, she's like, I can't move on. And she's like, and when I'm not high or drunk or whichever is her choice, she's like, I have to deal with things that I don't want to deal with and things that I've tried to forget. And that's the part that resonated with me pretty strongly. Now people say, oh, you're addicted to food. You know what? I am. I still am. I may have lost weight, but I'm not completely where I want to be. And just like another addict of alcohol or drugs or whatever, I can relapse, and yes, I can't eat as much food as I once did, but I can just keep eating, and I can make my stomach grow, and I'm afraid of that every day. I still have the same wants and the same needs as I've always had. Like this woman, food has been the only thing that makes me feel better because I mean she has strong anxiety. She has strong anxiety attacks, and they just come out of nowhere, and she's had a lot of trauma that she doesn't want to face, and her weapon of choice is just alcohol or drugs. I've never went that way because I'm not a heavy drinker, and I don't really like the taste of alcohol too much. I mean, I can drink, yes, but it doesn't do much for me. I usually just get silly and then fall asleep, and that's it, So that really doesn't do much for me. I do it kind of more as a fun thing, and I haven't even done it. I don't do it that often. And drugs, I am just not a drug person. I can't take drugs. So those things don't work for me, but what does work for me is food. And you can get food everywhere. You don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to do it illegally. You can go anywhere and get food. You can go to a gas station, you can go to a store, you can go to a restaurant, you can go anywhere and get food. Food can be delivered to you. Food is a hard thing to break. You have to have food to live, but you have to know what foods to eat, and you have to know how to eat it, when to eat it, how much, how little, how much exercise. I mean, it's a daily struggle, and for some people, they might not understand this. They may be like, oh, how can you be addicted to food? You know, how can, that's silly. That's just a cop out. That's just that you hear all the negativity for people who don't understand. And I'm not trying to make people understand. This is just me getting it out because there's a lot of things I've never dealt with. You know, when I was going through a lot of shit in my childhood, what did I do? I ate. I ate to, I would go to my room, have solitude, eat, and it would make me feel better. And when I was younger, I had a great metabolism and I was more active and I didn't gain weight. So it seemed like, okay, this is a great balance. There's no harm here. That's fine, whatever. As you get older, you know, you get a license, you get a car, you drive around, so you're walking less and you're less, you know, active, and your metabolism starts, this is me, my metabolism, I shouldn't say you, I mean me, my metabolism starts to slow down. You gain weight and you just kind of don't care. You see it happening, and for a brief, I'm saying you. I have to say me. For a brief moment, I cared and I was like, okay, I'm going to change this, but it was too hard to change. It was too hard for me to change. I wanted that food, and I wanted it in the amounts that I wanted it, and I wanted it when I wanted it. And I said, you know what? It makes me feel good. I don't give a shit about the rest. So what? So I'm going to get fat. Oh, well, who cares? I don't care. This is making me forget things that I don't want to think about. I just want to eat and move on. I don't care about anything else. And so I did it for many years, for many, many years. And there was a period when my ex-husband, sorry, BLC, not current husband, ex-husband. I meant to say my husband at that time worked for Dunkin' Donuts. So he worked at night. He worked the closing shift. So at night when he would close, there would be tons of stuff they were throwing away, and he'd bring it home. Oh my gosh, donuts, bagels, munchkins, croissants. I mean, anything they were throwing away, anything Dunkin' Donuts made and they were throwing away that night, he brought home. And you know, I would eat it. And my appetite got bigger and bigger. My stomach got bigger and bigger. And I just didn't care. I lost any care in the world, you know. And just like any addict, people around me that cared would say, you're getting bigger, you're getting health issues, you know, this family has health issues, you're going to, you know, you're just hurting yourself. You hear all the things, you know. And watching this show, I saw things they were saying, and I got told all of those things, but I just didn't care. I said, I just don't care. I just want to feel good, and this is the only thing that makes me feel good. This is the only thing that makes me move on with my life, you know, just to live in society. You know, and I sit there and I see other addicts, like drug addicts and alcoholics, and I say, how do they do that to themselves? But I'm only reflecting what I see in myself, that I've done that to myself. I totally destroyed myself. There was one period I got so big that nothing was fitting, and I refused to pay extra money and for bigger clothes, and I just wore things that didn't fit, and I looked so gross. And I see some of the pictures. I said, please destroy those pictures. I tell everybody, please destroy those pictures. I mean, that time in my life was so horrible. But I just didn't care. I just didn't care. And I mean, I would eat so much food that it was disgusting. And I would never eat anything healthy. It would always be junk food. I mean, I loved, you know, I love McDonald's. I love the fries. I love, and that was the time they had super size. I mean, I couldn't just have, a medium fry, a small fry. Oh no, it had to be super size. I mean, large wasn't even good enough. I mean, I could just eat. And I mean, sweets. Oh my gosh, chocolates and candy. Oh, I still love all that stuff, but I just can't eat as much of it. And I am so afraid that I'm going to ruin this. Every day I say, don't ruin this. This is the best thing that's ever happened to you. You're starting to get somewhat of a self-image. Not much, but more than I had. Just stop. Just stop. But until I watched this episode, I couldn't really pinpoint what I was holding on to, why I was so afraid to get to this next step. Because yes, the surgery is just a tool. It got me to where I am right now, but the rest of it's on me. And I couldn't realize what I'm hanging on to. I'm hanging on to that quote unquote friend that I've had for my whole life. I mean, ever since I can remember. I mean, ever since I was a child, I've held on to food. I mean, my mom used to tell me stories that when I was in my playpen, I would hide food under the mattress because I didn't want them to throw it away. Like, if I couldn't eat it, I'd put it under my mattress, like under the little playpen mattress. I mean, I've always used food as my friend, as my crutch, as my thing that holds me together, and I have to let it go. I have to let it go, or it's going to ruin me. It's going to ruin this surgery, and I'm going to hate myself. And I don't want that to happen. So I have to let it go. I have to say goodbye. I have to have food to live, but I don't need to live for food. So I have to just listen to what they told me in the classes and drink more water, because water is going to sustain me, and only eat when I have to eat, not when I want to eat. Yes, there are times, I mean, I do have to snack a lot more because I do take in a lot less food and I get hungry faster, but just snack. Drink more protein shakes. I mean, I just have to do it. Junk food's going to bring me back down that road I've been down that I don't like. I don't like it. But it calls to me, like she said in the video, it calls to me. And I have to tell it, fuck you, food. Fuck you, food. You are not going to get the best of me again. I gave you a lot of my life and I'm not doing it anymore. Now, granted, there's a lot of things that I have to deal with that are way down here that I've suppressed with food. But I'm not going to let food rule my life. I'm just not going to do it, because right now it's making me sick thinking about how I could slip back down there. It's making me physically sick. So I won't do it. I won't do it. Nope. I am happy with the size I'm wearing. I feel good in the clothes I'm wearing. Yes, I've got a little ways to go, but I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let this stupid addiction get me. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'll have my little snacks, but I'm not going to go crazy, because I could easily slip back in, and I don't want to. I've put my body through enough shit. I like the fact that I can run. I was running a little bit, like on the days that it's really rainy or windy or too, really cold and I can't walk to deliver the papers. I'll use the car, but I'll run up the driveways and I'll run down, and it feels good because I could never run before. Why am I going to fuck that feeling up? For stupid food? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. So, I just want to tell anybody out there that is fighting this food addiction, don't let it get the best of you. Yes, you need food to live, but you don't need to live for food. You know, if you don't say goodbye to that friend that's been holding you back, you will never move on. Yes, you'll do it for a little bit, but it always drags you back. And it's so easy to drag you back. Don't let it. I'm not going to let it. From this moment on, I'm not going to let it. I might have a little bit of junk food, but I am not going to go crazy. I'm not. I will not let this get me. I can't. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry this was depressing, but it kind of was. When I watched the show, it inspired me to say, you know what, I got to take charge of my own shit. You know, I've got to take charge of my own shit. I am not better than anybody else who is addicted to other substances. I am no better. I am no better. So, there is just not many places you can go if you're addicted to food. You know what I mean? So, thank you for listening, and till next time, be good to yourself and each other.